Hello, welcome to episode 15 of Johnny Talks. The title of this video is My View on Illegal Immigrants / Refugees / Border Control. I believe we should respect the law. The law is the law at the end of the day. It is a criminal offence for an illegal immigrant or a refugee to be in this country, Ireland or any other country. That is a crime. We have to respect the law. Just like I have to respect the law when it comes to paying my TV license. If I don't pay my TV license in time, I could face a court appearance, a prosecution, or I could even go to jail for not paying my TV license, because that is the law. It is the law to pay your TV license. You don't, you are committing a crime. We have to respect the law here. A crime is a crime, and the law is the law. So the law is, it is a crime for an illegal immigrant or a refugee to be in Ireland or any other country in the world. It's that simple, really. But that's not where the video ends. And as far as border control is concerned, okay, it's like this. It's like this. If you had a knock on the door at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you answer it, and there is a homeless man standing outside the door, dirty clothes, rough looking, maybe had a few drinks on him, and he said, "I'm really sorry to disturb you at this hour of the night, but I need a place to stay." What would you do? What would you do? How many asking a question here? What would you do? So if we're expected to let anybody and everybody into this country, into the cross our border, simply because we're kind and we're friendly, simply based off that, then would you not then leave in this homeless man who has nowhere to stay into your house? Would you leave that person into your house? Also, if you're in favour of allowing anybody and everybody to come into Ireland, to cross the border. So are you in favour of allowing everyone and anyone into our country? Are you in favour of that? And if you are, would you also be in favour of helping out this homeless man who has nowhere to stay? Would you bring him into your home? I'd love to know. My view on border control is we need to know exactly who is coming into our country. Oh, I wonder, am I a racist for saying that? Am I a racist? I wonder, in this world of PC activists and easily offended motherfuckers, am I a racist for simply saying that we should be aware of who is coming into our country? Oh my god, if that makes me a racist, then fuck you if that makes me a racist. Man, border control for me, my view on border control is we just need to know who is coming into our country. We need to know, do they have the legal documentation, first of all, to enter our country? Are they a legal citizen? L4 Electricity Kid, hello to you, man. How are you keeping? Welcome to episode 15 of Johnny Talks. The title of this video is My View on Illegal Immigrants / Refugees / Border Control. I believe that we need to respect the law. We have to respect the law, don't we? The law is the law. It is a criminal offence for an illegal immigrant or a refugee to be in this country. Just like it's a criminal offence for me if I don't pay my TV license in time. That is the law, the law. So, my view is, an illegal immigrant or refugee in this country is committing a crime. And we need to respect the law. And when it comes to border control, it's like this. Again, the question I ask. If you had a knock at the door 2 o'clock in the morning and you answer it and you see a homeless man, dirty clothes, looking rough, had a few drinks on him. If he asked, I'm really sorry to disturb you at this hour of the night, but will you leave me in to your home because I have nowhere else to stay? Would you do that? Judge Johnny. Oh man, if I was a judge, there'd be a lot of changes in this country. So would you leave in that homeless man or woman into your home? Or would you not? So my view on border control is, at the end of the day, we need to know exactly who is coming into this country. We need to know, do they have the legal documentation to be in this country? We need to know what their background is. We need to know who they are. Just like you wouldn't leave a random person come into your home late at night, why on earth would we leave anybody and everybody come into this country? Just because we're a friendly country. There's a limit to how friendly you can be. There's a limit to how friendly you could be. No, I could catch bad shit. Stoked wouldn't let him in. Okay, so that's your view, L4 Electricity Kit. Thank you very much for your view. Okay, so would you be in favour then of Ireland leaving every single refugee and immigrant into this country? Are you in favour of that? Would you feel like we should leave everyone and anybody into this country because we're so nice and friendly and we've got to help them out? So that is the question that I'm asking you, L4 Electricity Kid, and everybody else watching. So would you leave anybody and everybody into this country without checking out who they are, what their background is in terms of their criminal background or just background in general? I personally believe that we need to know who these people are before we leave them into the country. Only for holidays. Well, yeah, there's a difference between somebody coming to Ireland for a holiday. First of all, they'd have to have a passport and they may have to have a visa depending on what part of the world they're from. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. There's no criminal offence for going on holidays. But what I'm saying to you, L4 Electricity Kid, is when it comes to all of these refugees and immigrants who are coming from Iraq and Afghanistan and the Middle East and other countries, basically coming in from the back of a lorry, at times illegally entering our country. But even when they're coming from fleeing from war-stricken countries. Basically, the question I'm asking is, should we be leaving anybody and everybody into this country just because we happen to be a nice and friendly country? I personally believe that we shouldn't. We shouldn't be leaving the border open to anybody and everyone. And that is not racist. That is being protective of your country. There is nothing racist whatsoever about that. The PC activists can suck my cock. The easily offended can go fuck themselves. Because this needs to be said. No, could be dangerous bomber. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, it could be a dangerous bomber. So thank you for your opinion. It's much appreciated, and I really, 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 yeah, I appreciate that, because, you know, I want to know what people think. So I really appreciate that. So L4 Electricity Kid, he wouldn't allow a homeless man knocking at his door late at night looking to come into his home, because it's dangerous. Just like he feels like leaving people into this country who he doesn't know is also dangerous. So thank you for your opinion on that. It is much appreciated. It's much taken on board. We have to respect the law. We have to respect the law. At the end of the day, it's thrown in our face with everything else in life. It's thrown in our face when you don't pay your TV license. It's thrown in your face when you don't pay your rent. It's thrown in your face when you if you stole something from a shop. It's thrown in your face when you decide to drink and drive. It's thrown in your face when you speed on the road. It's thrown in your face on numerous occasions when you break laws. Okay, it's the law. You have to respect the law. Pay your TV license. It's the law. Don't come into this country if you are an illegal immigrant. That's the law. Don't come into this country if you are an illegal. That's the law. No, I'm saying illegal here, just before anybody accuses me of being racist here, okay? Illegal is the word I'm using here. If you enter this country illegally, I wouldn't let him in, could murder me, sleep torture to me. Exactly, you don't know who you're leaving into. Like, you wouldn't leave a random stranger into your home. That's common sense. You just don't do that. You just don't do that. You do not leave a random stranger into your home. It's that simple. So why on earth are so many people in this country, in Ireland and many other countries around the world, why are so many people then in favour of leaving random strangers into this country? A lot of them don't have the legal documentation to be here. But because we're a friendly country, we're like, oh, leave them in, it's fine. It's fine. And I'm telling you that it's actually not fine. 2 seconds there. Alright, man, just making a video. So that's just my mother coming in the door there now, the joys of real life. So we continue on with the video. So you wouldn't leave a random stranger into your home, so why leave random strangers into this country when we don't know who they are? We have to respect the law. You know, you hear that so many times with so many situations. So that's what I think. If I have to, if I don't pay my TV license, okay, and if I face prosecution for that, a fine for that, and even prison time for that, then somebody who enters, use common sense. How could he be homeless when he's buying beers? That's true as well. That's probably true. Exactly. You have to question. That's exactly my point, L, for electricity. You have to question these people. You have to question these people. You know, if someone comes knocking at your door late at night and says, oh, I have no money, I'm homeless, I have nowhere to stay. You have to have, you know, cans in their hands and a 50-euro note falls out of their pocket. You have to question, well, how come you, if you have no home, how come you have money? So you have to question those things. But getting back to the illegal immigrants, illegal refugees and border control for a minute, we need to be careful about who is coming into this country, especially when they do not have the legal documentation or we don't know their background. Let me just make one thing perfectly clear. I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm not talking about refugees. I'm talking about illegal immigrants and illegal refugees. If somebody decides that they want to move from Iraq to Ireland and they have their passport and their visa and all of the documents, that's perfectly fine. Welcome to Ireland. Have a nice day. But if you have sinister agendas, right, and if you have you know, sinister reasons for coming into Ireland, you could be a member of ISIS, you could be anything, you could be anybody, and you don't have the legal documentation, you don't have a passport, you don't have a visa, and you enter that country, you enter our country, Ireland, and other countries illegally, then you are committing a crime. That is why it's called illegal immigrant. You are committing a crime. Therefore, you should be prosecuted, removed from the country. And I'm not saying this doesn't happen. Of course it happens. We do have border control in Ireland. Of course we do. A lot of people get arrested for being an illegal immigrant and they get sent back to the country. But it needs to continue to happen. And we need to stop sympathising with illegal immigrants. And we need to respect the law. Because the law says You cannot enter the country illegally. You have to respect the law. It's that simple. It works both ways. It's not just about somebody, oh, well, they haven't paid their TV license, so you got to go to prison. Well, if you went to the country illegally, you got to go to prison as well. Or maybe not go to prison, but be prosecuted nonetheless and sent back to their own country at the end of the day. Oh, am I racist for saying that? At the end of the day, that's the law. If you enter the country illegally, you are committing a crime. You are breaking the law. You can't just cherry pick the law. You can't just cherry pick what you see as a crime. Okay, you can't. Stupid. So my view on border control is that we need to have an intelligent way to find out who is coming into this country. Should they be in this country? Have they got the legal documentation, the passports, the visas, everything? Are they legally entering the country or illegally entering the country? Same goes for refugees as well, you know, people who are fleeing from war-stricken countries. It's tragic what's happening in that country, but maybe it shouldn't be happening in that country. Maybe that country needs to prevent that from happening. They think it's not a big thing for them, but it's the law. Exactly. They think that they can just... But see, the thing is, the reason they think they can come into Ireland so easily is because we're so friendly. We're like, oh, come on in. We're a friendly country. Come on in. But like, would they do the same thing if somebody knocked at the door at 2 o'clock in the morning and said they have nowhere to stay? I'm sure they wouldn't. But yeah, it is the law, as you said, Ed, for electricity kit. It is a law, and that law needs to be respected, just like any other law in this country needs to be respected. Just like the age of consent law needs to be respected. Just like pay my TV license needs to be respected. Just like the drink driving law has to be respected. Every law has to be respected. You can't just cherry pick which law you want to be in favour of. You can't argue with law. Law will tell you what is right and law will tell you what is wrong, and law tells you that if you enter a country without the legal documentation, then you are an illegal immigrant and you are committing a crime. End of. So the same goes for refugees as well, the people who are fleeing war-stricken countries. As I said, it's tragic what's happening in those countries, but maybe those countries need to work together in order to prevent those wars from happening. Simple as. It's tragic what's happening, but does that mean that we should open the door to the person? No, it doesn't. You can only enter a country if you have the legal documentation. Now I think it works a little bit different when it comes to refugees, because we're sympathising with their circumstances, so we let them in. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't. We need to find out who is coming into this country, regardless of what's happening in their country. It's that simple. So yeah, we need to respect the law. That's all I have to say about this video. I want to thank everybody who watched, especially L4 Electricity Kid. This has been episode 15 of Johnny Talks. We have to respect the law. Law is law. A crime is a crime. It is a crime for me not to pay my TV license. Oh, hello, ProChronicsVlogz. How are you, man? How are you keeping? Welcome to episode 15 of Johnny Talks. Considering that you just joined, I'll give you a little recap. We have to respect the law. This is my view. So the title of this video is my view on illegal immigrants / refugees / border control. I believe, ProChronics, that we have to respect the law. The law is the law. It is the law not to drink and drive. No problem, man. No problem. It is the law that you cannot drink and drive. It is the law that you cannot, that you have to pay your TV license. The age of consent, that's law as well. Really appreciate that. It is also the law that you cannot enter a country illegally. If you enter the country without the right documents, passport and visa, then you are committing a crime. We have to respect the law. So I believe that illegal immigrants should not be in this country. They should be prosecuted and brought back to their own country. The same goes for refugees. At the end of the day, someone comes knocking at your door 2 o'clock in the morning and they want to come into your home. Would you leave them into your home? Would you lead them into your home? That's the question I ask. L4, the Susie kid said that he wouldn't leave them into his home because he doesn't know who they are. So why on earth then would we be leaving all of these people who we don't know who they are coming to our country, especially when they don't have the legal documentation, the passport and the visa? So the law is the law. We have to respect that law. We have to respect that law at the end of the day. And my view on border control for Chronics is we need to know exactly who is coming into this country. It is that simple. We shouldn't be too friendly in this country in terms of leaving everybody in. At the end of the day, it is our border. It's what protects us from dangerous people coming into this country. At the end of the day. So, boom. That is all I have to say. I really appreciate the like and the support as well. Really appreciate that, man. So big shout out everyone to ProChronicsVlogz. You should subscribe to his channel for some fantastic gaming content. And we're 21 minutes into the video, 21 and a half minutes into this video. I have nothing else to add to this video. I would never leave strangers into my house, and I saw your stream well, I'm confused now. Wait, you mean to stay saw my stream at 10 in the morning, is that? Wait, what stream was that? I'm confused. But yeah, like you wouldn't leave a stranger into your house, so why would you leave strangers into your country? That's the question that I ask. No problem. No problem. What stream was that? What stream was that? I'm confused. But yeah, this is about respecting the law. This is about recognizing a crime. A crime is a crime, no matter how small or how big. And a law is the law, no matter how small or big. At the end of the day. So, a person who enters Ireland from Iraq without the correct documents, passport and visa, is committing a crime. They are an illegal immigrant. The law needs to be respected and they need to be prosecuted and removed from the country. I'm playing Fortnite and watching... I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate when you say that, man. I really do. Thank you. You're mine as well, but I tell you the truth, because sincere and genuine, and I really enjoyed the old women's jail video as well. So everybody watching, so subscribe to ProChronicsVlogz and check out that video because it's fantastic. So yeah, it's about respecting the law. That's my view in terms of illegal immigrants and illegal refugees. We have to respect the law. The law says that you cannot enter a country without the legal documents, passport and visa. If you enter the country illegally, then you are committing a crime. It's in the term, it's in the name, illegal immigrant. He could be an agent, FBI agent, bomber. Well, exactly, man. He could be the horse bang. He could be an ISIS member. We could be leaving in ISIS members. At the end of the day, I don't know how many times I'm saying this in this video, but if you enter Ireland or any other country from a foreign country illegally, you are an illegal immigrant and you are committing an offence. You are committing a crime, and you are breaking the law. And we have to respect the law. Just like we all have to respect laws like paying your TV license and not drinking driving and other laws. And the exact same goes for, as I said, refugees. Refugees are a little bit different from an immigrant. A refugee is somebody who's seeking refuge, refugee, from like countries of war. Maybe those countries to stop wars then, and they wouldn't need to seek refuge from war if there was no war. But regardless of what's happening in those countries, as sad as it is, we still shouldn't be opening the borders. This is why I do know border control as well. We shouldn't be opening up the borders for anyone and everyone just because we feel sorry for what's happening to them in their country. Maybe they should stop what's happening in their country and they wouldn't be entering this country. It's about security. It's about protection. Just like protecting your home, just like the security of your home, you wouldn't leave a stranger into your home. Why on earth would you leave? Why on earth would you leave so many people into your country if you don't know who they are? It's as simple as that. I mean, even people who call to the door. Oh my God! Look at the cube. What's up with it now? What's happening with the cube? Man, I love the emojis there, man. I love the emojis there. But yeah, I kind of have nothing else to add to the video. Nothing to add to it, like, but I can kind of go back over it, like, and stuff. And you can be sure that a lot of people would consider my comments as racist, and that's absolutely hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious that somebody would consider my comments as racist. I know there's people out there that would think that what I'm saying is racist. I have absolutely said nothing racist whatsoever in this video. I have simply stated a fact, and the fact is, if you enter a country without a passport and a visa and without the legal documents, then you are an illegal immigrant. It is that simple. And that is a crime that can be that you can be prosecuted for, and you are breaking the law. You are breaking the law. And if I have to respect the law to pay my TV license, then these illegal immigrants have to respect the law as well and be prosecuted and removed from their country. That is my view on illegal immigrants. Refugees are basically the exact same, but we need to be less. We need to not allow sympathy to judge, to cloud our judgment for who we leave into this country. Okay, it's that simple. We just need to know their criminal background, their overall background, and make sure they have the correct documentation to enter this country before we open. As I pointed out, and as ProChronics has pointed out, and as L4 Electricity has pointed out, they wouldn't leave random strangers into their home late at night because of security reasons and because of protection reasons. So why would we be in favour of opening our borders and leaving anybody and everybody come into this country? And that is not racist. It's not even freedom of speech. It's just common sense, to be quite honest with you. It's just pure common sense. It is what it is. So yeah, I've asked the question, and the question has been answered by two people so far live on the stream, ProChronicsVlogz and Out To ProChronicsVlogz, and they all are in favour, and they all agree that we shouldn't be leaving everyone and anyone into this country without checking their background. So those are the views of ProChronicsVlogz and Out To ProChronicsVlogz. They're also my view as well. No, not right now. Not right now. Not right now. It might be on later on though. Not right now. What's happening? You can tell me. Tell me what's happening. Put it into the chat. What's happening in the world of Fortnite? But I'm more interested in what's happening in the world around me than what's happening in the fictional world, to be quite honest with you. And what is happening in the world around me, particularly in Ireland, is we are opening, the politicians in this country, and politicians across the world actually, within the European Union and the UN, are opening the borders of Ireland and other countries to everyone and anyone. A lot of these people don't even have the legal documentation to be in this country. And by doing so, these people are committing a crime. These people are breaking a law. No, it's okay, man, don't worry about it. But I'd say it's pretty cool anyway. I'd say it's pretty cool. They are breaking the law. If I don't renew my TV license, I am breaking the law, and I could face prosecution, a fine, and I could go to prison. Because that's the law. You have to respect the law, is what they say. A crime is a crime, a law is a law. So what is happening in this world, the world around me, is we are opening our borders to everyone and to anyone. A lot of these people, we don't know who they are, they don't have the documentation. That's a crime. So it's pretty much what I'm saying pretty much is ties into everything. Illegal refugees, illegal immigrants, border control. It's all the one thing, basically. It's all the one thing. So I don't need to categorize it into 3 different things. My view is basically we need to know who is coming into this country. Simple as. They need to have a passport, they need to have a visa, they need to have some sort of a background, so the people who are letting them into this country know exactly who they are. So it's that simple. Just like we wouldn't leave random people into our home, why would we leave random people into our country? And it's not racist to have this view. So anyone who's watching who might share the same views but might feel a little bit frightened to say those things in the real world, don't be, because you're not racist if you have those views. You're just using common sense, and you're just saying, well, hold on a second now, if I don't know who's coming to this country, that's not good. They could be dangerous, they could commit a crime. Well, they actually are committing a crime, actually, because they went into the country illegally. But they could be very, very dangerous people. And at the end of the day, do you want dangerous people in your country? You know, if you don't want dangerous people in your home, then why would you want them in your country? Simple as that. There. I don't really care who I offend at the end of the day, because I'm not interested in who I offend, because this world is so offended they had to remove the Apu character from The Simpsons because he was Indian. I mean, that is literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, they're actually the ones that are racist by definition. The group of people who came together and got Apu removed from The Simpsons are actually racist by definition. They are, because he's Indian. So what? So they have some. Is it an offence to be Indian now? Like, I don't understand it. It's just the most craziest thing ever. So I don't really care who I offend, and it's not racist. Because if you look at the definition of racist, I don't fall into the category of being racist. I am simply saying that if I don't know who you are, you're not coming into my house. So if I don't know who you are, then you shouldn't be in this country. It's that simple. So L4 electricity mentioned earlier about it's okay if they're on holidays. Perfectly, like, that's exactly right. Like, I mean, if you're going on a holiday, like if I'm living in Iraq and I decide I want to go on holiday to Ireland, providing I have my passport, providing I have my visa, and I have all the legal documentation, of course I can go on a holiday. And not even just a holiday, I mean, even if I wanted to live here, if I have the legal documentation, then it's perfectly fine. So yeah, so the world of Fortnite seems pretty exciting right now, isn't it? L4, let's just stick it. So yeah, so you can let me know what's happening there if you want, in the comments. But so I feel like I could actually add a few things to this video. Actually, I really do. I feel like we could actually add a few things into this topic. If a traveller came knocking on your door and said, I really need to use your toilet, or I really need to use your phone, my phone has gone dead, do you have a house phone? What would you do? What would Ireland do? What would the general population of Ireland do in that situation? That's a question I would ask. Oh, that's mental. That's absolutely... I always like how that game changes and evolves over time. It's pretty cool. I like that. That actually is pretty cool now. That sounds pretty cool. You know, it isn't just the same map. Like, if you play Black Ops, you're going to have the same map, as far as I'm aware. I don't know anything about Black Ops 4, but I'm pretty sure that every Black Ops game I played, or Call of Duty game I played, the map is the same every time. So what I like about Fortnite is the map of Fortnite continues to change and evolve over time, and it's a free game. It's a free game. Like, you're paying for the cosmetics, but the gameplay will always be free. You'll always be able to play a battle royale. You'll always be able to take advantage of that game for free. I like that. That's pretty cool. So that's my opinion on Fortnite. Now back to the real world. The general population. What would they do? Would they leave that traveller into their home? I'm guessing they wouldn't. Sure about it, I'm guessing they wouldn't. But yet we're supposed to leave illegal immigrants illegal, may I add, illegal immigrants into this country, and we're supposed to leave illegal refugees into this country. Yeah, the people watching this video have no idea what's happening right now because they can't see Fortnite. They're like, what is going on? You know what? So thank you for your feedback, L4 Electricity Kid. Thank you for your feedback. So L4 Electricity Kid would not allow a traveller into his home because he feels he will fuck shit up. So imagine then if a man from Iraq who identifies himself as a Muslim entered this country illegally now, may I add. Should we allow that? Should we allow that? Because we know that some members of the traveller community can cause trouble. Again, I want to repeat that. We know that some members of the travelling community can cause trouble. So there's a chance that he, as you said, L4 might fuck shit up. However, we also know that a lot of Muslims are responsible for beheadings and bombings and shootings and stabbings and all sorts of sinister and evil terrorism. So with that in mind, should we leave any and every Muslim into our country? So I will ask you that question, L4 Electricity Kid, and I'll also ask ProChronicsVlogz. Should we leave every and any Muslim into other countries without legal documentation, without a passport, without a visa? Should we allow that? So that is the question that I'm putting out there. Because a lot of people would agree with you there, L4 Electricity Kid. A lot of people would actually would be on your side, and they would agree with you. A lot of the Irish people would not leave a traveller into their home because they feel like they would, as you put it, fuck shit up. But we're well aware of how dangerous some of the Muslim community can be. Now, some people say they're not Muslim, but let's face it, if you're going to behead somebody and then 2 seconds after it say, I did this in the name of Allah, then that's pretty, no problem. No problem, man. Thanks for watching the video. I'll be honest with you, I'm probably not going to play Fortnite tonight. Just not really feeling it. But yeah, man, thank you for checking out episode 15 of Green Hub Gaming. Thanks for your feedback as well, because it really, really means a lot, because I asked the question was answered, and it really helps with this video. So you really have helped this video, ProChronics and L4 Electricity Kid. It really has backed up my points in this video to ask the question and to hear the answer. So I'd asked the question, you know, would you leave strangers into your home? And I got the answer no. And I asked the question, would you leave strangers into your country? And the answer was no. And I also asked, would you let a member of the travelling community into your home? And L4 Electricity Kid answered no, because he would fuck shit up. Because we know that some members of the travelling community can be very dangerous. However, we also know that a lot of Muslims can be dangerous because they're beheading people, bombing people and shooting people in the name of Allah. Allah is God. So you can't deny the fact that they're Muslims. No, I'm not saying that every Muslim engages in this behaviour, but at the end of the day, they are Muslims who are doing this. So some members of the Muslim community are very, very dangerous people. So I'm pretty sure you wouldn't allow a Muslim into your country, into your home, with the same logic of not leaving a traveller into your home. So yeah, should we be leaving anyone and everyone? Doesn't have to be a Muslim, but I just thought I'd use that as an example there. When L4 Electricity Kid gave his opinion about leaving a member of the travelling community into his home. Because we do know that some travellers can cause a lot of trouble, so I could perfectly understand you know, that answer. And it's a fantastic answer because it kind of backs up my point about some Muslims, extremist Muslims as they are. We know what they're capable of doing. We know that they deal with a lot of terrorism, deal in a lot of terrorism, including beheadings and bombings and shootings and stuff like that. And they are Muslims at the end of the day. As extreme as extreme as they are, they're still Muslims, and they're still engaged in that type of behaviour. So would you want those people not only coming into your home, but would you want those people coming into your country, especially when they don't have a passport or a visa or the legal documentation? I'm pretty sure that people wouldn't, you know. So yeah, so my view on illegal immigrants / refugees / border control is we have to respect the law. A law is a law, and a crime is a crime, no matter how small or how big. I could go to prison for not paying my TV license, because that's the law, and that's a crime. If you enter Ireland or any other country without a passport, without a visa, without the legal documentation, then you are an illegal immigrant. You are breaking the law, and you have committed a crime. It is that simple at the end of the day. Not just illegal immigrants, the same goes for refugees. And yeah, it's understandable to be sympathetic with refugees who are seeking refuge, fleeing war-stricken countries, but maybe those countries need to come together and ensure that no more wars happen, so they don't have to flee their country. But it still doesn't give them the excuse to enter this country illegally, and it still doesn't mean that we as a country should be opening our borders to everyone and anyone. It's about common sense, it's about security and protection. It's nothing at all to do with being racist. It has nothing at all to do with being racist. And if people are so easily offended and so, you know, PC activists in this day and age, then they can go fuck themselves, is my answer to those people, quite simply. I don't care who I offend. At the end of the day, I don't care. I will always speak my mind, no matter what. And what I'm speaking here is facts at the end of the day. When it comes to border control, it's simple. A system has to be put in place, and has to continue to be put in place, where you check that person's background, you check that person's personality, you just check everything about that person before they come into this country. I mean, for God's sake, like, I mean, if you went to fucking, you know, London on a plane, you know, and came back to Ireland, I mean, like, the amount of times they check your passport and check your bags and everything, you know, it's rightfully so, but it's unbelievable. So why on earth then should somebody be hopping on the back of a truck, you know, identify themselves as somebody from Iraq with no documentation, and be brought into a hotel that same night and fed and clothed without knowing anything about that person whatsoever, while there's a homeless man sleeping on the street, and he comes knocking on your door but you won't leave him in. So that's all I have to say about that. That was episode 15 of Johnny Talks. Thank you everyone who watched, especially L for Electricity Kid and ProChronicsVlogz. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.